And then New Year's Eve, he said this to me. He said, I will be pouring forth my glory on and through my consecrated people in the years ahead. Yes, 2022 will mark an era where my glory will be manifested mightily through my children. It's an era. My glory will change this world. My glory will bring in the great harvest of souls as it pours forth through those who love, honor, and serve us and our children. Freely you have been given my glory. Now let it pour forth freely on those who are lost without me. And he said the way the glory is going to be manifested is upon his people that love him, that are seeking him and serving him, and then through them out to those about them. And that's what we're seeing happen in the deliverance sessions and in the church and wherever. It's wonderful. And then on New Year's Day, the next day, he said, yes, this day marks the beginning of a new day, a new year, and a new era. This will be a time like no other. It will be an hour when my glory fills the earth and lives are transformed suddenly. Miracles will happen and it will delight you. Yes, this hour of terrible trials and deep suffering has brought many of my wayward children home to my waiting arms. In this place of restoration to us, they will be restored fully. And this, when I got this word, I was reminded of back in the very beginning of 2020, when the virus had just started to hit, like in Washington State and a nursing home there. And so people were concerned about it, that it would go through the United States and through the world. And at that time, the Lord brought me in the spirit into this beautiful, beautiful ballroom. Now I'm in this ballroom and it's full of all the saints in heaven, the great crowd of witnesses, and they are having a party and enjoying themselves thoroughly. It was magnificent. So I really looked around to see everything that I could see, and I looked up at the ceiling. I tried to just absorb all the details of this beautiful ballroom. And then I was like, but Lord, how come all these people are having such a wonderful time here in heaven when we're suffering on the earth? This pandemic is getting ready to break out. And so the Lord showed me, he pointed down, I looked down in the spirit, and down into the second heaven or down towards the earth, I saw demons, and they were making this fire. It looked like a campfire, and they were putting all wood on the campfire and stoking it. And he said to me, what's coming on the earth, he said, is the people with impure agendas, wicked motives are going to be using this thing, and they're stoking the fire of fear. They're going to be putting fear out all over the land, and they're going to use fear to manipulate and control people. He said this, that was 2 years ago that he showed me that. He said, this is what's coming. He said, but it's going to backfire, because that fear is going to drive my children back to me. God didn't cause any of this, but for those who love God, he works all things together for good. So we've been praying for the world, we've been praying for our loved ones, whatnot. And now all this fear is on everybody. It's causing people to run to God.
Yeah.
The Lord told me 2 years ago, he said, it's going to cause my children to return to me. And that's where we're at now.
And I have a question real quick about that. What did the ballroom look like?
Oh.
Because as soon as you said it, I'm like, please explain it.
Well, the ceiling of it was high, and it was big. And there were angels all around the room. And the Lord told me, he said, I have to make my ballroom big and tall because the angels have to fit in here. So, and the ceiling, all I can describe it was like the Sistine Chapel. Mm-hmm. Way more beautiful with all gold etchings. It was fantastic. And then the walls, all the walls, there were beautiful sconces and lights. It was just diamonds all over the place, hanging like instead of chandeliers, diamonds. It was magnificent. Wow. It was beautiful. And then way, like it was enormous. And way to the other end of the building was this balcony. And there was one time that I went to the ballroom and I saw the Father sitting on the throne and all flowers at his feet. And the saints would go over and they would look for a flower. They'd pick up a flower. They'd hold it to their heart. They'd smell it. And then they go run to the balcony and throw it off the balcony. And what the Lord was showing me through that was that those were our loved ones that have gone before us, that the flowers represented our prayers. Those are the prayers of the saints at the feet of the Father in this beautiful throne room in the ballroom. And they would go and look for the flower, the prayer of their loved one that they had prayed. Pick it up, smell it. So your mothers, your fathers, your grandparents, your loved ones that have gone before you, they're praying for us down here. And as they're praying, and so they would go look for that prayer as it was a flower, smell it, hold it close to their heart, unite their prayers, their love with that prayer, and then go throw it over the balcony as an answered prayer being sent back down to the earth.
Wow, that's amazing.
I know. I'm like,
that's so beautiful.
God wants us to know you're not alone in this battle. You're not alone. God has all heaven is praying with us and praying for us and joining their prayers with us. That was beautiful. Those are the things that I'm like, oh.